Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Fiction Network. Football. Chinese football team misses me, runs to Barcelona as the king of football Lingfeng has traveled through. In this lifetime, he became a dual-nationality Chinese-American young general and is currently studying at the Ramasia youth training camp in Barcelona. I originally wanted to contribute to the Chinese national football team, but found that the Football Association in this lifetime is still extremely dark. After beating up the father and son of the national youth team leader, Lingfeng resolutely returned to Spain, and for a while, the system intensified, and he scored a must-go goal in the penalty area at the beginning. Shooting in the penalty area is essential, isn't this the center that Barcelona has always dreamed of? This year, Suarez has not yet transferred to Barcelona, and the Red and Blue Legion urgently needs a reliable center forward. Lingfeng took on the mission in the face of danger, scoring unstoppable goals one by one, completely igniting the passion of fans around the world. Golden Boot Award, Puskas Award, Golden Boy Award, Golden Globe Award. Lingfeng wants everything. In addition, as a dual national, he also received many olive branches from national teams. Is it to win the World Cup with Messi or to fulfill his dream with Cristiano Ronaldo? Or could it lead Spain to win the World Cup twice in a row? Lingfeng is very conflicted. I just want to be the king of football with peace of mind. Why are you all kneeling down and begging me to join the team? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. The Stubborn Chinese Football Team. New Book Seeking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. June 2013. Longwa National Youth Team Training Base. It's scorching heat, with scorching sun shining brightly. The pace of the national youth team members running on the field also appears particularly dull. As a newcomer preparing for next year's Asian Youth Championship, every move of this national youth team this year has received much attention. Countless Dragon people want to know. Dragon country football, is there still a future? Today's training base had a rare opportunity for open training. Allow major media reporters from the sidelines to follow up and report. His mother, why didn't you pass me the ball just now? Do you want to join the team? On the field. Near the goal, a roar suddenly sounded. The players around were silent like cicadas, exchanging frightened gazes with each other. This is the son of this year's national youth team leader, Zhao Yan. He is the true legitimate member of the national youth team. Compared to other players from purely grassroots backgrounds. In terms of background, one sky and one earth. Almost no player dares to touch his mold. Zhao, at that position just now, son's position is better than yours, so I just. A low breath sounded. The members of the national youth team next to them immediately playfully glanced at the owner of the voice, showing pity. Dare to talk back. Get out of here, you don't need to continue training. Zhao Yan squinted his eyes and sneered, saying something. The team member blushed and opened their mouth, but didn't say anything. With a dejected face and drooping heads, they walked towards the sidelines. Seeing the young team member being kicked off by Zhao Yan, the coach on the sidelines did not stop him and instead chatted and laughed with the assistant coach beside him. Zhao Gongzi is becoming more and more of a leader, with the potential to become the captain of the National Youth League. Speaking, he waved to the substitute bench. A team member who was already eager to try rushed onto the field eagerly upon seeing this. Running to Zhao Yan's side, with a flattering expression on his face. Zhao Gu, that stinky little kid from Shaodong, is not sensible. Now, look, I'll make the ball for you. Just score the goal. I promise to show you off well in front of my sister. Lol. Zhao Yan snorted coldly upon hearing this and gritted his teeth fiercely. Everyone, keep an eye on Lingfeng across from me. If you let him score again, you all go home and feed the pigs. Speaking, his gaze glanced at a tall and graceful figure outside the field. The so-called sister-in-law among the national youth team members. It's his goddess Su Qianshan, whom he has been secretly in love with for a long time. Today's open training competition, Zhao Yan originally intended to put on a good show in front of the goddess. But the plan was completely disrupted. Even after the damn guy named Lingfeng scored a goal on the other side. Su Qianshan clapped his hands and cheered happily. This made Zhao Yan feel extremely frustrated. Today, Zhao Tai, the leader of the national youth team, personally arranged this open training, which was attended by media reporters from outside the venue. Originally, Zhao Tai wanted to use the media to create a buzz for his son. Titled as National Youth New Genius. It is natural to promote Zhao Yan to the position of captain of the National Youth League. However, as soon as the training match started, he regretted it. That dual nationality Chinese named Lingfeng is just a troublemaker. Completely ignorant of any worldly wisdom. In just over 20 minutes of the training match, we had already scored twice. Directly abusing Zhao Yan's team players to the point of exhaustion. Completely stole the limelight. How can one naturally promote their own son to become the captain if this continues? Listening to the whispers of the reporters on the sidelines, as well as the click of the camera's shutter. Under the camera, Zhao Tai, the leader of the national youth team, had a pale face and stared at the young figure running on the field in the distance with hatred. Team leader, should we replace that Chinese American? If it continues like this. Beside Zhao Tai, a middle-aged man hesitated to speak. After playing the first half, let him roll down. Zhao Tai lowered his voice and said fiercely. The reporters on the sidelines were watching, and he didn't want to replace Lingfeng at this moment. But the anger inside has also accumulated to a certain extent. In the football circle of Dragon Country, even if you don't understand human relationships and worldly wisdom, are you worthy of playing football? Chinese. Naturalized players. Did you come from the Ramasia youth training camp? What's the use of it? This is the Dragon Kingdom. If you don't understand human relationships and worldly wisdom, hurry up and get lost. And at this moment, Lingfeng. Running on the field feels a bit bored. There is no other reason, the opposite side is a bit too complicated. It's not as good as the junior high school students he met on the field in Spain. The rumors heard in my past life about Dragons men's football players stopping the ball for 10 meters and clearing their own goal are not only true. And there are still more than that. That's right, he's a traveler. In his past life, he was a seasoned fan. On the first day of the Lunar New Year, when he saw the Chinese national football team losing to Yunnan in a humiliating score, he was furious and couldn't catch a breath. He died with a bang. Reborn back in 2013, a Chinese-American player with dual citizenship of Spain and Argentina. He is also a player who has been studying for 2 years at the Barcelona Ramasia youth training camp, which is known as the Youth Training Paradise. Recently, as a naturalized player, I was called up by the Longwa national youth team to participate in the selection of the squad for next year's Asian Youth Championship. I originally had a glimmer of hope, thinking that the rotten Dragon Country football was just a rumor. But upon seeing it firsthand, I felt a bit speechless. Rotten, it's too bad. The ball doesn't play very well, but the feet are still very dirty. In just over 20 minutes of the game, he was hit with several flying tackles. Moreover, among the team members, the situation of gang building is very serious. The vast majority of players are crazily flattering the leader's son Zhao Yan. At the age of 16 or 17, he had already lived like a licking dog. This is just the national youth team. It's hard to imagine how difficult it would be for players without background or status to be in a real national team. Or, to put it another way, these grassroots players couldn't even reach that point and were most likely past midway. P.S. As we all know, football is an extremely niche category in Feilu, and readers are far less numerous than those big categories, but the author still wants to take a gamble that millions of readers in Feilu will eventually love football. The author is here to seek a wave of data, including flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and rewards even if none of these are present. As long as you say a word in the comment section, the author knows that at least someone has read this book. This way, self-confidence will also be greatly encouraged. In addition, the plot will become more and more exciting in the future. This year's World Cup is the last one for Messi and Ronaldo, and everyone must want to watch the protagonist play the World Cup with Messi or Ronaldo. It can be achieved in this book. The author kneels down to seek a wave of data. Give the author the motivation to continue writing. And the author has saved the manuscript. If the preliminary data is good, it will explode even more. Chapter 2. Beating the leader father and son. Say goodbye to the country completely. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the minor disturbance, the game on the field continued. Lingfeng still maintains his suppressive power on his side. It's not because his overall strength is stronger on this side. It's entirely because of Lingfeng's personal level, which is much higher than this group of national youth team members. Running, awareness, and ability to pass and receive the ball. None of these national youth players can match. Under his leadership, the team's suppressive power was also evident. However, in the B team where Lingfeng is located, many players are affected by Lingfeng's lack of understanding of the world. Kicking is becoming more and more restrained. I'm afraid that after the training match, Zhao Yan will cause trouble for them. So I don't know if it's a performance or a real dish, and many people start throwing the ball in various weird ways as soon as they receive it. Seeing Lingfeng speechless for a moment. Another battle near the midline. The player from Team B dribbled the ball over the midline and saw Zhao Yan rushing towards him. Without hesitation, he slipped his foot and directly handed the ball over. This exaggerated performance not only did not make the coach on the sidelines frown, but also secretly breathed a sigh of relief when the ball hit Zhao Yan's feet. Good ball, brother Zhao. After Zhao Yan received the ball, his teammates around him were desperately trying to catch it on the flank. Attempt to create a comfortable offensive route for Zhao Yenying. But due to their lack of skill, the two Chinese youth players with the same running route even collided with each other. A burst of uncontrollable low laughter from the off-site reporter was elicited. After clumsily dribbling a few steps, Zhao Yan spotted his experienced licking dog and planned to have a 2-over-1. But just as he took the ball, a gust of wind blew past him. Lingfeng didn't hesitate, casually snatched the ball back and controlled it under his own feet. Then calmly dribbling forward. After being stunned for a few seconds. Upon hearing the laughter of the audience outside the venue, Zhao Yan's face immediately turned red. Damn it, shovel him for me. Don't let him go. Scrape him. Listening to Zhao Yan's hysterical roar, the members of Team A glanced at each other and bravely charged towards Lingfeng. In the national youth team, Zhao Yan's words are the imperial edict. Must be executed. The coach on the sidelines furrowed his brows slightly and looked at the reporter off the field with some concern, then at the team leader Zhao Tai not far away. Under the journalist's nose, this is not very good, right? He is well aware of Zhao Yan's temperament as the crown prince of the national youth team. Zhao Yan said he wanted to scrap someone, but he really aimed at them. Similar situations have occurred many times before. But as a coach, he dare not make any statements. G. The sound of sliding shovels echoed through the court one after another. The teammates of Team A received instructions from Zhao Yan and started flying towards Lingfeng crazily. Even if he dies, he won't continue to carry the ball deep. The tackle action is too big, isn't it? Isn't it aimed at useless people? Isn't this a training match? It's so tough on my future teammates as well. Doubts were heard among the reporters on the sidelines. And on the court. The members of Team B also tacitly stopped running and left Lingfeng alone in the front field. Do not give him any chance to pass back. At first, Lingfeng was able to calmly use his footwork to avoid a few tackles. But for the series of flying shovels hitting his ankles, he still fell for it. Shit! This tackle came from Zhao Yan himself. Shining shoe studs, especially dazzling in the scorching sun. The reporter on the sidelines let out a cry of surprise. Su Qianqian instinctively grabbed the barbed wire fence in front of him, staring at the field with a worried expression. Shining shoe studs on the court is a big taboo, and it's basically a card-eating action. A slightly larger action is bound to result in a red card. But Zhao Yan's actions were clearly not just about shining a shoe stud. He really wants to ruin Lingfeng on this stadium. Hiss. Lingfeng's ankle hurts. He didn't expect that Zhao Yan really had such great energy that he could incite all the national youth team members to come and attack him with just one sentence. Even more so, using actions that can be considered useless to attack oneself. The players on the field saw that Lingfeng finally stopped moving forward with the ball. When standing in place and moving around with a shovel-injured ankle, the national youth team members breathed a sigh of relief and showed a proud expression. It seems like saying, this is the end of not understanding the world. However, the next second, Zhao Yan had just climbed up and was about to provoke Lingfeng with arrogance. A dark shadow came straight towards my own door. With a loud bang, nosebleeds splattered everywhere. It's Lingfeng's fist. Suddenly, accompanied by a burst of exclamation from the sidelines. Intense pain struck, and Zhao Yan covered his face and screamed out in agony. Under the shocked gaze of everyone, Lingfeng expressionlessly lifted the foot that had just been shoved by Zhao Yanfei and kicked him hard in the chest. Another heart-wrenching scream. The steel studs left deep bloodstains on the fragile flesh on the chest. Zhao Yan covered his chest and kept rolling on the ground. Wail of pain. The thin nosebleeds dyed the grass in front of me red. But Lingfeng didn't show any intention of stopping and walked straight up again. All the national youth team members were stunned in place. Startled by Lingfeng's aura. They are just a group of 16 or 17-year-old children. The vast majority are greenhouse flowers. Where have you seen such a bloody scene? And it can be seen from Lingfeng's movements. This guy is definitely an old hand who often fights. Little did they know that Lingfeng was really good at fighting. At the Ramasia youth training camp, he often beats those Japanese and Korean players who speak ill of themselves. Stop him. Shit, stop him. Before the coach, who was already looking frightened on the sidelines, could say something, Zhao Tai, the head coach of the national youth team, was furious and shouted loudly. How dare this Chinese American who knows no bounds dare to publicly beat his own son? Zhao Tai, who had completely lost his sanity, completely disregarded the presence of reporters outside the venue. Surprisingly, he swung his fist and charged towards Lingfeng. Give Lingfeng a hard punch. The staff of the national youth team around me reached out to stop Zhao Tai, but they didn't stop him. Listening to the hustle and bustle outside the venue, as well as the clicking shutter sound of the camera, the staff looked hopeless. Now, the national youth team is going to become completely famous a few minutes later. Lingfeng glanced indifferently at Zhao Yan, who was still rolling on the ground like a dead dog. And Zhao Tai, who was also bruised and swollen on the side, with a resentful expression on his face but dared not step forward at all. There were also young Chinese players around who wanted to come forward and fight, but hesitated for a while before finally standing still. Another thing is the coach who is frantically calling the relevant personnel on the side and threatening to arrest Lingfeng. Lingfeng sneered. What a bunch of trash. He spat fiercely at Zhao Yan, and Lingfeng looked around with pity at the frightened national youth team members. Turn around and leave. Behind him was Zhao Tai's hoarse roar. Lingfeng, damn it, you've caused a big deal. If you beat up a national football team member, you will bear criminal responsibility. You his mother, you his mother dare to hit my son. I want to block you. I want to put you in jail. The coach who finished the phone call on the side also cooperated and shouted. Lingfeng, you have been fired. You never want to join the national team in your lifetime. Wait for the court summons. The Chinese Football Association will permanently ban you. You won't even step into the Chinese Football Association in your lifetime. And the national youth team members who had previously dared not even speak now, seeing Lingfeng walking away, began to curse at Lingfeng's back with each word. Blockade. Dismissal. Court summons. Lingfeng sneered incessantly. Without looking back, he packed his things and walked out of the training base. Only a hustle and bustle remained behind. Do you really consider him a rarity for the so-called national team? What if the national team, so rotten to the bone, gets in? Be someone else's dog. Isn't it ridiculous? Don't even think about it. People like Zhao Yan are by no means unique within the entire national football system. Acting arrogantly based on background relationships. It's simply too much. If you haven't experienced it firsthand. Perhaps Lingfeng still cannot feel the darkness within this system firsthand. Whenever he has a weaker personality. Or there may be a lack of awareness of prevention. Just now, my ankle may have been shoveled for no reason. But what should be said or not? This trip back to China was not a loss either. At least he saw something with his own eyes. Shattered his last remaining fantasy about the Chinese national football team. Off the training ground. Seeing Lingfeng's figure is about to disappear at the entrance of the training base. Su Qianxian bit her lower lip tightly and quickly ran after her. P.S. As we all know, football is an extremely niche category in Feilu, and readers are far less numerous than those big categories, but the author still wants to take a gamble that millions of readers in Feilu will eventually love football. The author is here to seek a wave of data, including flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and rewards. Even if none of these are present, as long as you say a word in the comment section, the author knows that at least someone has read this book. This way, self-confidence will also be greatly encouraged. In addition, the plot will become more and more exciting in the future. This year's World Cup is the last one for Messi and Ronaldo, and everyone must want to watch the protagonist play the World Cup with Messi or Ronaldo. It can be achieved in this book. The author kneels down to seek a wave of data. Give the author the motivation to continue writing. And the author has saved the manuscript. If the preliminary data is good, it will explode even more. Chapter 3. Return to Spain. System enabled. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lingfeng, does your ankle still hurt? That Zhao Yan is really disgusting. How could the other team members attack such a fragile ankle area? They are already teams of national brands, why are there so many malignant tumors? Outside the training base. Su Qianxian crouched down beside Lingfeng with a worried expression on his face. Stretching out his hand, he lightly touched Lingfeng's previously shoveled ankle. Carefully observing the changes in Lingfeng's expression. I feel a bit heartbroken. A small question, a trash that can't even park the ball well, do you expect him to shovel me? Lingfeng moved his ankle disapprovingly and reached out to pat the girl in front of him on the head. He has known Su Qianxian for a long time. Although I am not studying in China. But their parents are good business partners. The relationship between the two families is also very good. Su Qianxian appeared at the training base of the national youth team today, specifically to watch his training match. But I just saw those off-site journalists being detained by them. Maybe the media's reports will distort the facts and be very unfavorable to you in the future. Su Qianxian looked worried. Upon hearing this, Lingfeng frowned. But I didn't feel very surprised either. Manipulate the media, manipulate public opinion. This is nothing but normal for those people. However, as a Chinese person, there is no need to worry about this at all. After all, this kind of thing happened. It is impossible for one's future to be in the Dragon Kingdom. Even if reputation may be damaged as a result, what is there to care about? Unless the Chinese Football Association can ban themselves overseas. But how could that be possible? Where does the Chinese Football Association come from with this kind of energy? When it comes to the country of Dragon, Lingfeng has a deep affection for it. For 2 generations, the Dragon Kingdom will always be his favorite. And he grew up abroad since childhood in this lifetime. It can also be seen from the attitudes and impressions of people around us towards Dragon Country. Longhua has had a very good reputation overseas in recent years. But this is only for the country. For the national football team, Lingfeng only has endless disappointment and disgust. He believes the kind of thing we encounter today is just a microcosm of the Dragon Country football system. Darker and nauseating, everywhere. Are you going back to Spain next? Su Qianshan adjusted his skirt and sat next to Lingfeng, reaching out to help him tidy up his collar. Go back to Barcelona and continue my football dream. Lingfeng smiled and answered. 2 years ago, he was still playing football in Argentina and was selected by scouts from the world-renowned Ramasia Youth Academy. Through trial training, sign a contract. So I came to Spain and started a new chapter of my dreams. Holders of Latin American citizenship can apply for local citizenship by residing in Spain for at least 2 years. It was precisely because of his 2 years of further education in La Masia that Lingfeng successfully obtained Spanish citizenship. And as the World Youth Championship approaches, invited by the Spanish national youth team and the Argentine national youth team. At the same time, there is also the call-up of the Dragon Country youth team. I originally wanted to go back to the Dragon Kingdom with a try attitude. After all, because he was a pure dragon person in his past life, Lingfeng still had a fondness for the Dragon Kingdom in his heart. But now it seems that it was purely his mistake to pay. The Dragon Kingdom is very good. But Dragon Country football is really not worth it. Su Qianshan nodded shallowly. It's quite good. The football environment in Europe is indeed much better than in Dragon Country. The two are talking. Just at this moment. In Lingfeng's mind. Several sudden mechanical sounds suddenly rang out. Ding. Detected that the host is experiencing a significant moment in life, and the Green King system is being activated. 1%. 5%. 99%. System successfully started. Ding. The system is being opened for the first time. Congratulations to the host for receiving a beginner gift package. Do you want to open it? Listen to the sound echoing in your mind. Lingfeng's expression couldn't help but tremble. Late at night. Lingfeng took a final glance at the land beneath him through the porthole. Resolutely closed the sunshade. The last attachment in my eyes also disappeared. This is a flight back to Barcelona, Spain. On the seat next to him was Su Qianshan, who was sleeping soundly. The original journey back alone. With the accompaniment of the girl beside me, I am not alone. Su Qianshan, who comes from a wealthy family, has already planned to study in Spain next semester. Prepare for studying abroad in Europe in the future. It's currently high school summer vacation, and the visas are also complete. Under her insistence, Lingfeng had no choice but to allow her to accompany him back to Spain. Su Qianshan's parents not only did not object to this. Upon hearing this, I went back with Lingfeng. Even very supportive. I even came to see off the plane before leaving. 2 minors, without a guardian, boarded a flight to Spain like this. Lingfeng, who inherited the body in memory of the original owner, has not yet figured out how to handle his relationship with Su Qianshan. However, it can be seen that this girl should quite like herself. In my memory, the two met in childhood. The parents of the two are well-known local businessmen in Argentina. They all run large supermarkets. The Argentinians have always been known as the Moonlight Clan, spending as much money as they earn. And the urbanization in various parts of Argentina is particularly high. Eating, drinking, and salad are mostly bought in supermarkets. So in the early years, opening a supermarket in Argentina was an extremely profitable industry. Lingfeng was born in Argentina and received basic Spanish education, while also learning Chinese and English. The level is still quite good. Although Lingfeng is not studying in Longwa, Su Qianqian goes to Argentina to meet his parents every winter and summer vacation. Without exception, they will also go to play with Lingfeng. Over time, their relationship gradually shifted from being young and unaware to ambiguous and unclear. Lingfeng leaned his head against the seat and closed his eyes. Consciousness enters the system. I plan to study my golden finger carefully. In the afternoon, when he first heard those mechanical sounds, he was completely bewildered. At the same time, another phone call came in, and he temporarily set aside the matter and rushed to the airport with Su Qianqian first. After a leisurely moment, Lingfeng finally understood. His golden finger belongs to him finally here. After crossing over, he inherited the body of the original owner. After 2 more years of training at the Ramasia youth training camp. Although among the players of Dragon Country, Lingfeng's level can be considered as that of the Great Demon King. But among peers in Spain, talent is only considered average. Among the Asian players in the La Masia youth training camp, his dynamic talent is even inferior to that of Kubo Jianying from Sakura Country. That Cherry Blossom Country genius general, who is 1 year younger than him and known as Japanese Messi. Football is a sport that emphasizes both talent and hard work. Talent determines the upper limit. If your talent is average, you can only become a character player if you work hard to reach the level of Cristiano Ronaldo the day after tomorrow. Meanwhile, Asians generally have lower physical fitness compared to European and South American players of the same period. This will also limit his future development to a certain extent. This is something that cannot be done. That's also why for so many years, only a few Asian players have become famous in Europe. The football environment and training system are not as developed as those in Europe and South America. The difference in physical fitness is also crucial. But with the system everything will clear the clouds and see the light. The system prompt still stays there. Do you want to activate the beginner gift package? Open. Lingfeng's heart twitched slightly, and he had some more expectations for this big gift package. Command the system without hesitation. P.S. As we all know, football is an extremely niche category in Feilu, and readers are far less numerous than those big categories, but the author still wants to take a gamble that millions of readers in Feilu will definitely love football. The author is here to seek a wave of data, including flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and rewards. Even if none of these are present, as long as you say a word in the comment section, the author knows that at least someone has read this book. This way, self-confidence will also be greatly encouraged. In addition, the plot will become more and more exciting in the future. This year's World Cup is the last one for Messi and Ronaldo, and everyone must want to watch the protagonist play the World Cup with Messi or Ronaldo. It can be achieved in this book. The author kneels down to seek a wave of data. Give the author the motivation to continue writing. And the author has saved the manuscript. If the preliminary data is good, it will explode even more. Chapter 4. Opening the black gold chest for the first time. Forbidden area shooting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding. Open the beginner's gift pack and obtain a black gold treasure chest *1. The black gold treasure chest is currently being opened, ding. The black gold treasure chest has been successfully opened. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the skill. King of Forbidden Areas. King of the Forbidden Area. The first shot in the forbidden area during the game must go in. When this effect is triggered, the skill will be invalidated. The words fell. Lingfeng suddenly opened his eyes. His expression suddenly lifted. Skills. In the game, the first shot inside the penalty area must be scored. Isn't this equivalent to? As long as a person is on the field and shooting within the penalty area, they can score at least one goal. Even if this skill fails after triggering, it is almost equivalent to scoring one goal in every game. The only difficulty may lie in whether the shot can be completed within the opponent's penalty area. That's all. It has to be said that this skill is very suitable for one's position on the field. Since coming into contact with football, Lingfeng has been playing in a forward position. I have played as a winger and as a midfielder. As my body gradually grows, I have an advantage in height and play as a center forward. For the center forward position, shooting from within the penalty area is not difficult. Lingfeng seems to be able to see. I have at least one goal per midfield in the game, galloping on the green field. The world football world is full of superstars, but those who can score one goal per game, even the peak Mero, cannot say he can do it every season. Undoubtedly, the skill opened from the black gold treasure chest. What other rewards can be obtained besides the black gold chest? Lingfeng inquired. The system's answer quickly echoed in my mind. As a random reward, the treasure chest is randomly triggered from time to time based on the intensity and level of the host's competition. There are 4 levels of rewards: bronze, silver, gold, and black gold. Bronze treasure chest can open auxiliary props, such as relieving injuries, restoring physical fitness, etc. Silver treasure chest, able to dispense attribute-enhancing potions, which can add points to the host's panel attributes. Golden chest, a template that can display a certain ability of a real star. The black gold treasure chest is the most precious and can unlock extremely powerful skills. These skills are often causal props that can maximize the host's role in the competition. Listening to the introduction of the system, Lingfeng had a clear understanding in his heart. The King of Forbidden Areas skill I just acquired is the ability to unlock the highest level black gold treasure chest. But such black gold chests should be extremely difficult to obtain. At least low-level league matches cannot trigger rewards at this level. Even for regular matches in the 5 major leagues, the probability of triggering the black gold box is not too high. Ding! The host's property panel has been opened. Another prompt sound sounded, and a page of attribute panel appeared in Lingfeng's mind. Name: Lingfeng. Age: 17, height: 184 centimeters, weight: 74 kilograms, club. Currently unavailable, national team. Currently unavailable, current position. Center, modifiable, the attribute panel only displays the relevant attributes of the current position, shooting. 78, station. 69, speed. 81, heading. 68, bounce. 71, shooting power. 75, adversarial. 69, control. 65, passing. 68, long range. 65, free kick. 60, arc. 64, physical strength. 79, current location overall review. 70, template loaded. Currently unavailable, activated skill. Forbidden Zone King, as can be seen, except for a few prominent attributes. Most of them are below 70. If 70 is a passing line. Many of my attributes at this time belong to the category of failing. Immediately after, another sound sounded. Ding! The main quest is currently being released. Main task: Dream Set Sail. Log into 5 major leagues and score 20 goals. Reward: Black Gold Chest *1. Task deadline: 1 year. The branch task is currently being dispatched, please stay tuned. After digesting the various functions of the system, Lingfeng gradually gained a certain understanding of his golden finger. Black gold treasure chest. The reward is very tempting. Landing in the top 5 leagues. Scoring 20 more goals. Lingfeng raised his eyebrows and fell into contemplation. After acquiring the skill of being the king of the penalty area, he is not worried about scoring goals. And as a member of the Ramasia youth training camp, to make it to the top 5 leagues, the most ideal way is naturally to be promoted to the Barcelona first team. But I want to discover and appreciate Barcelona's first team. And you can also get a chance to play and score goals. It's not that easy. The task has a time limit and is required to be completed within 1 year. It's equivalent to a season. Not to mention whether they can smoothly enter the Barcelona first team within a year and obtain corresponding playing opportunities. Just scoring 20 goals in a season is already a big challenge. You should know that a level of 20 goals in a single season compared to previous seasons in La Liga can easily reach the top 5 of the top scorer list without pressure. Even Messi and Ronaldo couldn't achieve this kind of attacking firepower during their debut season. At present, Barcelona has gradually ended the rule of the Dream 3 dynasty with the departure of Guardiola. This summer, former Barcelona striker Villa also traveled to Madrid and joined Atletico Madrid. But Neymar, known as the Light of Samba, joined Barcelona for a sky-high transfer fee. In the first team of Barcelona, there are also superstars such as Messi, Fabregas, Xavi, Iniesta, and so on. It can be said that the stars are shining brightly. It's not easy to get a chance to stand out in such a Barcelona formation. It is an extremely significant challenge. But there is also good news. Suarez, who will become Barcelona's top center in the future, is still playing for Liverpool and has not yet transferred. The current Barcelona lineup is very scarce in terms of talent in the center position. There are many good frontline players, including Messi, Neymar, Sanchez, and Pedro. But none of them specialize in the position of center forward. So much so that for a long period of time during the season, Messi and Pedro took turns visiting the center position in Barcelona's lineup. For Lingfeng, this is actually an opportunity to prove himself. Chapter 5. Public Opinion in Dragon Country. To help ye. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time. In the late night of the Dragon Kingdom, the internet has already exploded. Regarding the conflict incident at the training base of the Chinese youth team in the afternoon, various reports and videos have been reposted and discussed in indignation by netizens. The off-field journalists who were bribed are constantly posting emotional reports online. A news article titled "Terrorists Found at the National Youth Team Training Base." Naturalized player Lingfeng attacks the national youth team leader. In an instant, it became popular all over the internet. The illustration in the text shows Lingfeng, a tall and imposing figure, gripping the short Zhao Yan with punches to the flesh. Even Zhao Tai, who is the leader of the national youth team, was not spared and was slapped several times by Lingfeng. The members of the national youth team around me constantly tried to dissuade, but to no avail. Plus, out-of-context textual reports. The image of a living football bully and an unreasonable foreign Chinese player is vividly portrayed on paper. But there was no mention of the background, causes, or consequences of the matter. Brainwashed netizens were furious behind the screen. I couldn't help but type on the keyboard. There are countless negative reviews and curses online. Too bad. This is a criminal case. Lingfeng must be arrested and brought to justice. If he is not of our race, his heart will always be different. No wonder he is the so-called Chinese American, so deep down he is a different race. This kind of Chinese is just a waste of going abroad to gild. Is it possible to still want to play football in Europe? Damn it, even if we beat the national youth team members, we can't even beat the national youth team leader. It's completely lawless. This kind of naturalized player must be completely banned. No, we need to restrict his entry. We cannot let him step into the land of Dragon Country again. Arrest him in prison. Give justice to the national youth team members. Even in 2013, when the internet was not yet as developed. The power of public opinion is also terrifying. Once the situation ferments, the negative impact is also spreading rapidly to various industries. In a moment, Lingfeng's name has been labeled with various negative labels and has started to spread wildly in the fans' circle of Dragon Country. Local evening in Spain. After a long 12-hour flight, the plane finally arrived at El Plat Airport in Barcelona. Although Lingfeng did not inform Ramasia in advance, there are no people coming to pick up the plane at this time. But he still skillfully took Su Qianqian to a taxi and headed straight to his villa in Barcelona. As a student at Ramasia Football School, Lingfeng is a member of over half of the nearly 200 students who are day students. I don't usually live in the player's apartment, but living in a 3-story villa not far from Ramasia. On weekdays, there will be nannies arranged by the father to arrange their daily lives. It's currently the weekend, and the nanny is resting. Lingfeng plans to take Su Qianqian back to the villa first. Take a good sleep and relieve the drowsiness of the long journey. Oh my! Lingfeng, look at them. They are really going too far. They have distorted the truth to such an extent. On the taxi, Su Qianqian was scrolling through online updates on his phone and happened to see the news recently released by the Chinese Football Association. Suddenly, Qiong frowned slightly and reached out her phone to Lingfeng. On the delicate face, there is an indescribable anger. Lingfeng finished reading the entire report with a slight frown. After a moment, all that rises in my heart is a sneer. Sure enough, there is nothing that money cannot solve. At the time of the incident, there were many off-site journalists. Someone must have recorded the entire incident. But at this point, the report was cut off and taken out of context to the extreme. It's hard not to believe that those journalists have not been bribed. The caption at the beginning of the news is a photo of Zhao Yan being beaten into a pig's head. Nasal bleeding crossflow. The entire report completely portrayed the father and son as absolute victims. The direction of public opinion is one-sided. And Zhao Tai, as the leader of the national youth team, he can be considered a member of the Chinese Football Association with considerable status. This kind of character was actually beaten by a Chinese-American young general who was listed as a naturalized player. It has also stirred up thousands of waves on the internet. Block me. Don't let me go back to my home country. No one really thinks that I will go back, right? Lingfeng only found it funny. As he expected, he was indeed fired. But what about it? Something that others treat as a treasure. He's really not rare. When I think of those national youth players on the training ground in the afternoon. A series of flattering faces. Lingfeng remained displeased. But I have no sympathy for them at all. It can be foreseen that in this environment, the future career of these national youth players is only afraid to be bleak. For these, Lingfeng is almost always aware at a glance. There's no way, this is the current situation of Dragon Country football. Don't worry, Lingfeng. I also filmed a video of the scene at that time. I will organize it and send it online soon. I will definitely help you resolve the misunderstanding. These journalists who take out of context are really despicable. How could they be like this? Su Qianqian gently grasped the corner of Lingfeng's clothes and spoke out to comfort him. She has liked Lingfeng for many years. I have always hoped that Lingfeng can go far on the road of football. After all, this is what he loves. She certainly didn't want Lingfeng to be affected by these despicable things at present. After all, returning to China with enthusiasm was maliciously spread rumors, even banned or expelled must be very sad, right? What Su Qianqian didn't expect was Lingfeng was not as angry as she had imagined. On the contrary, there is a bit of calmness. Actually, it doesn't matter whether there is a misunderstanding or not. Anyway, it's highly likely that I won't return to Dragon Country for further development. No matter how much they scold me, what can they do? I can't hear it anymore. I also beat up the person and got angry. It's nothing if we don't restore the truth. Lingfeng shrugged and patted Su Qianqian's head. He really doesn't care anymore. At the moment I just saw the report. He decided that he would never have the chance to play Dragon Country football again in this lifetime. He holds dual citizenship. As long as conditions permit. In the future, whether choosing Spain or Argentina's national youth team or national team. Not to mention how high achievements are bound to be achieved. At least it's much more satisfying than in the Dragon Kingdom. But upon hearing Lingfeng's words, Su Qianqian shook his head like a tambourine. That's not enough. You came back to China to participate in the selection process because you wanted to bring glory to your country, but they still fell into trouble. Why should you just forget about it? You can rest assured to leave this matter to me. I know friends from several domestic newspapers and I will definitely help you restore the truth. Chapter 6. Barcelona with urgent shortage of centers. Ramasia. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time, the night is already deep. A building adjacent to the Camp Nou Stadium and the La Masia Youth Training Camp. Barcelona B Team Administrative Building. The office on the top floor is brightly lit. Barcelona B Team Head Coach Eusebio Sacristan. Sitting at the desk, rubbing his face hard. A worried expression. The weekend league is about to kick Castile. But Donggu got injured at this critical moment. We haven't won against Castile in the league for 3 consecutive years. If this continues, the media will eat us. They really ate us. There's no bone left. Castilla, also known as Real Madrid B Team. As the arch-rivals of La Liga and even the entire European football scene, the feud between Barcelona and Real Madrid has lasted for over 100 years. As the second team of 2 teams, the feud between Barcelona B Team and Castilla is also frequently unfolding in the Spanish Second Division League. The players and fans of both teams are the kind who can get started as soon as they meet. Even if it's just a match in La Liga. The popularity level even surpasses some La Liga leagues. However, in recent years, due to the overall decline in output quality of the Ramasia Youth Training Camp, this directly led to the continuous decline in the level of Barcelona B Team. It has become increasingly insufficient to compete with Castilla. Even dropping out of La Liga at one point and relegated to the Spanish third-tier league. And now, a great war with Castilla is imminent. As a key center forward for Barcelona's B Team, Cameroon player Donggu was unexpectedly injured. Even more so, it made Sacristan feel like a needle in a needle. Hurry up and draw a few people from Ramasia these days to make up for the battle. It's time for those young boys to give them some challenges. However, the hole in Donggu's injury is not so easy to make up for. Even Barcelona's first team urgently needs a capable center forward. Sacristan worried. The assistant coach comforted on the side. Recently, there have been a group of good young players from La Masia. Maybe they can help us. For example, the cherry blossom country kid who is known as Japanese Messi, Kubo Jianying. His progress is enormous, so we can arrange a training match to test him. He has a wide coverage on the field, maybe he can make a guest appearance as a center forward. Sacristan frowned and said, Japanese. Asians. Castile's defense line is all tigers, lions. The physical fitness of Asians is probably unbearable. The assistant coach scratched his head and kept pondering, there are still a few candidates. It's also good to have a local Spanish general. Oh, by the way, there's one more person. A young general from the Dragon Kingdom. No, he is of Chinese descent and of Argentine nationality. I remember his position as a center forward. He was a bronze boot in the U17 league last season. He seems quite famous in Ramasia. He's a problematic teenager. Because he often fights with Asian players. As the words fell, Sacristan couldn't help but be taken aback and immediately cursed loudly. Cabayas, what are you doing with airplanes? Chinese. Dragon people. Still a fighting kid who likes to cause trouble. The football level of Dragon Country is not even as good as that of Sakura Country and Cold Country. Have you ever seen any Dragon Country player in the 5 major leagues who can play as a starter? Let me believe in a player from Dragon Country. Why not just choose the Japanese Messi you mentioned? How did he get into Ramasia? After speaking, Sacristan sighed helplessly. In short, hurry up and arrange a training match tomorrow to investigate. Choose a few capable players from Ramasia, and we can't lose again in the weekend match against Real Madrid second team. Otherwise, the Spanish media will leave us with no chance of standing up. After Sacristan finished speaking, he lay weakly on his desk. Waving his hand, he drove away the assistant coach. Next up. Grab the Barcelona B team roster on your desk. I've been watching for a while. It's a headache. These are all disciples that he trained with his own hands. Although many of the people above are talented young generals from Ramasia background. But compared to many years ago, Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets from Ramasia, the current reserve force of Barcelona, is no longer as brilliant as the stars. There's hardly any super genius who can handle it. Compared to the previous explosive genius output. In recent years, Barcelona has indeed relied heavily on buying players during the transfer period to supplement their strength. Instead of relying on the cultivation of our own youth training. As for the Real Madrid second team that Barcelona B team will face on the weekend, although La Masia is hailed as the world's strongest youth academy. But Real Madrid, as a La Liga superpower that rivals Barcelona. We also have our own top-level youth training system. Real Madrid's youth training camp is called La Fabrica. Perhaps this youth academy doesn't sound as famous compared to La Masia. But its contribution to Real Madrid is no less than La Masia's help to Barcelona. Lord of the Rings Raul Gonzalez, San Casi Casillas, Golden Wolf Guti, Morientes, all of them are superstars born from Real Madrid's youth training camp, La Bufarica. And over the years, with the decline of Ramasia, Real Madrid's youth training has been growing stronger and stronger. Morata, Nacho, Basque, Cheryshev. There is also Hessa Rodriguez, known as the new Cristiano Ronaldo, and Saint Hessa. These rookies who come from Real Madrid's youth academy and each have their own potential for success in the future. At this moment, he is playing for Real Madrid's second team Castile. God, I don't want to be fired. Sacristan wailed. Over the years, the pressure he has put on leading the Barcelona B team has been immense. The consecutive decline in performance, including the tragic situation of repeatedly losing to Castilla, put him at risk of dropping classes at any time. At this moment, there is only one hope in Sacristan's heart. Win the match against Real Madrid's second team Castilla next weekend. A snow of shame before. My God, please give us an awesome center who can save the team. Chapter 7. The Everywhere National Derby. On behalf of. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing today's training and obtaining free attribute allocation points. 1. Early morning. Lingfeng opened his eyes and heard a system prompt sound in his mind. This is the system function he discovered before going to bed last night. Training ground mode. As long as you train for 6 hours on the training ground, you can obtain one free attribute. You can freely add points in the property panel. Training can be endless, but training rewards can only take effect once a day. More importantly, even in a sleeping state, training can still be conducted. This avoids the awkward situation of high-intensity training or competitions during the day, which may result in a lack of energy to train on the system's training ground at night. Lingfeng moved his arms and felt the feeling of training all night. Although it is a subconscious training in sleep. But it's still very good. The sense of fulfillment is overwhelming. It's like I've been working hard at the gym for half a day. And after thinking about this freedom attribute, he finally decided to add it to the stance. Position 69-70. At this point, Lingfeng's positioning attribute has also crossed the 70 level, which can be considered as barely passing. Since you have acquired the skill of the king of the penalty area, the key to better triggering this skill is whether you can receive and shoot the ball at the appropriate time in the penalty area. In this way, the attribute of standing becomes particularly important. For a center forward, good positioning is an indispensable ability. This attribute can be said to directly reflect a center's sense of smell in front of the goal and running awareness. Inzaghi, the legendary striker who once dominated Milan's San Siro. It was once criticized by the outside world as having no speed, having no body. However, with an extremely keen sense of smell in front of the door. Fluctuating positioning and running awareness. This seemingly unremarkable center has dominated an era in the Italian powerhouse AC Milan. Drip. Lingfeng withdrew his thoughts and turned his head to look at the information on his phone. A group message from the assistant coach of Ramasia youth training. Tonight's training will add a training match, selecting 3 players to Barcelona B team to play in the weekend's La Liga. Opponent or Castile. Real Madrid second team. She. Lingfeng's eyes lit up. He knows. A player from the La Masia youth training camp. To one day play for Barcelona. I can't avoid Barcelona B team. This is a progressive order. Even Messi and Harvey, the golden generation of La Masia. It is also not possible to directly jump from the youth team to the first team. Barcelona B team is a must-go process. And tonight's training match. Perhaps it's an opportunity to enter Barcelona's second team. Prepare for entering Barcelona in the future. Before the system. Lingfeng is still able to pass certain talents and La Masia's training. Received the bronze boots of the U17 Youth League. At this point, there is system support. I also have the bug level skill of entering the penalty area. Lingfeng is convinced. At this moment, the Youth League is not enough for me to watch. It shouldn't be difficult to stand out in tonight's training match. The deadline for the main task is only 1 year, we need to seize the time. The first black gold treasure chest has opened up such an abnormal skill. I really hope the second one can open up something. Lingfeng stretched lazily and got out of bed. Suddenly, a soft tapping sound came from the door. Su Qianqian's voice came from outside the door. Lingfeng, have you woken up? I've made breakfast now. Lingfeng was first surprised. Although the nanny went home from vacation, it seems like another nanny has arrived. Smiling and shaking his head, Lingfeng pushed the door out. Next to the Camp Nou stadium. Ramasia Youth Training Camp. At the entrance, the shuttle bus for picking up and dropping off students who live on campus has been departing one after another. Even students from Ramasia should receive formal public education just like normal teenagers. All courses, exams, and further education. They are completely consistent with public schools. And you are the strongest youth academy in the world. Ramasia's daily training time is only 2.5 hours. Training is usually arranged after a day of formal school courses and after school tutoring. It usually starts around 5 p.m. in the evening. At this moment, On the bus of the high school group. The students from Ramasia are communicating in the car. Chapter 8. The Asian Gang of Ramasia. Sakura Country. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. It can be seen that except for some students with white and black skin, a corner of the carriage was almost firmly occupied by several figures with yellow skin and black hair. Like a small team, they were conversing closely with each other. Maintain a certain distance from other European players. This is the famous Asian gang at the Ramasia Youth Training Camp. Mainly composed of young players from Japan and South Korea. The reason why they are famous is not because Asian players are so popular in Ramasia. It's purely because these people are a bit out of sync. Apart from training, I hardly participate in any group activities. Frequently acting alone. And led by the Asian gang naturally, it is the well-known Japanese Messi in Asia in recent years. Kubo Jianying. The genius young general of Sakura Country. At the age of only 13, he was selected by Barcelona's scouts. I have been studying in Ramasia for 3 years now. It can be said that after Kagawa Shinji, Kubo Jianying has become the next target of Sakura Country fans. In Sakura Country, there are countless fans. Even many female idol groups from Sakura Country come here in admiration and often go to Spain for performances. Kubo, I envy you so much. Don't forget to introduce us to Mr. Sacristan when you go to Barcelona B team. At your age, you can play in the second division of the Western Conference. You are the first person in Asia. Sun Gu, at your age, was still unknown in the Hamburg youth training camp. Several players from the cold country envied each other. The Sun brother they speak of is naturally Sun Xingmin, who just joined Tottenham Hotspur from Leverkusen. Idol of fans from all over the cold country. After Shinji Kagawa, the new Asian leader. Hehe, although you can rest assured, I'm sure I'll be selected for tonight's training match, but if you work hard, maybe you can also get a chance to make it to the squad. Kubo Jianying enjoyed the feeling of being praised by the stars, and raised the corner of her mouth proudly. When he heard that the coach of Barcelona's B team was going to pick a few people from Ramasia. Although the selection has not yet begun. But he was already incredibly confident that he would definitely be selected. He has an extraordinary confidence in his own abilities. We'll just leave it to fate, there's a high probability that we won't be able to choose. Yeah, I heard that Barcelona B team is in urgent need of forward players, especially center forwards. We all play in the backcourt, so we basically miss out. Japanese and Korean generals side and side. By the way, when it comes to forward players, it seems like I haven't seen that guy from Dragon Country for several days. Lingfeng. Don't you know that he was called up by the national youth team of Dragon Country and returned to his home country? TSK, with the poor level of Dragon Country football, he even set up the national youth team in a serious manner, which is a shame to lose at home. That's right, if you don't finish in the top 4 of the Asian Youth League, you won't be able to participate in the World Youth League. Dragon Country's football level is the lowest in Asia, how can you possibly enter the top 4? Oh, it seems that this guy has missed out on the La Liga. He has always played as a center forward, otherwise he might have been selected tonight. Upon hearing this, Kubo Jianying frowned at the moment. Sniff at it. Lingfeng. That 3-legged cat guy from the Dragon Kingdom. He's also worthy of playing Western League too. Unless Mr. Sacristan's brain is broken. How could he possibly favor him? Dragon Country players can never establish themselves in European football. Of course, if he wants to play in Spain's amateur league, perhaps he can still handle it. Kubo Jianying sneered and slandered inwardly. Several players from Cold Country and Sakura Country also responded with a mocking expression. Laughing incessantly. Mocking the Dragon people and Dragon Country players has almost become a common occurrence among these Japanese and Korean players. They inherently look down upon players from Dragon Country. Although Lingfeng registered at the Ramasia youth training camp, the nationality column clearly states Argentine. But the players from Japan and South Korea still subconsciously see him as a dragon. That undisguised sense of superiority and disdain. Also, it often leads to conflicts between them and Lingfeng on the field. Unfortunately, they can't even fight alone with Lingfeng if they put them all together. Over time, one can only engage in verbal attacks from behind. But for them, the most soothing and also the most hopeful. It's better to see Lingfeng become the first Dragon Country player selected by the La Masia youth training camp. But in the future, it will disappear from everyone. Be the object of their lifelong ridicule. I can only play low-level matches. Amateur league. Even sneaking into the field. And in their view, they themselves are bound to have a brilliant future. I will definitely play for a prestigious team. Be the pride of your respective countries. Cruelly trample on the Dragon Kingdom. The reason for this confidence needs to be investigated. Perhaps it is the success of Sun Xingmin and Shinji Kagawa in European football. Let them also start to inexplicably inflate. Chapter 9. The tense pre-match atmosphere. Youth training. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. In the evening. Ramasia training base. Outside the barbed wire fence of the stadium, there is a crowd of admirers. This is a must-have seen during Ramasia's nightly training. A large part of the onlookers were locals from Barcelona. More of them are loyal fans of Barcelona. The greatest pleasure every day is watching a training session at La Masia in the evening. Urge the growth of your own youth training young players. Of course, there are also scouts from clubs around the world lurking in the crowd. Pat and clap towards the training ground. The golden signboard of the Ramasia youth training camp goes without saying much. Many of the world's top talents are gathered here. Digging people from Ramasia. It has also become the most passionate thing for scouts. At this moment, the students from Ramasia have finished their classes. Everyone came to the training ground. Get ready to start your daily training. Lingfeng also entered the stadium early. I have changed my equipment. I found a football and started bouncing it on my own. 6-hour training in the system training field yesterday morning. Let his ball feel also increase by a few points. The young players from Ramasia present today are all very clear. Tonight's training is different from before. It's a selection-style training competition. From players above U16. Select 3 players to be promoted to Barcelona B team. Join the weekend's La Liga. Opponent, it's the big demon king of the second division, Castilla. Real Madrid's second team. That was a highly anticipated battle. During the summer break in La Liga. The La Liga has undoubtedly become the focus of attention for fans. At that time, the media will focus their cameras on every detail of the competition. As a century rival of La Liga, the war between Barcelona and Real Madrid has continued into the second division. This is a game to test the level of youth training between both sides in recent times. Fatty, look who that is. Thank you for your generous gift. That's our newly appointed youth training director, Mr. Cruyffit. On the court, several Spanish young generals whispered in unison. Last season's U17 League Golden Boot winner, now a top-tier talent in the La Masia youth training camp, Ansu Fati, looks out with bright eyes. Their gaze turned towards a dark giant figure on the sidelines. The former famous hotel of Barcelona. Patrick Cruyffit. Nearly 1.9 meters tall, once a Dutch super genius, the king of center position. Hailed as the leader of the golden generation of Dutch football. Also the newly appointed Ramasia youth training director. And those around him. Naturally, he is the head coach of Barcelona B team, Sacristan. Arrange for today's training match. The two are having a deep conversation. It seems to be discussing which 3 players will stand out soon. Today's selection is more intense than imagined. Even the youth training director has been present amidst his busy schedule. It seems that the club values the league match against Castile on the weekend. Fatty pondered. He can be considered one of the most talented young players in this group of Ramasia. Received countless expectations and praise from the outside world. And his development template is to emulate Pedro in the current Barcelona formation. Heading towards a top-notch edge fast horse. His next goal is to seize the opportunity to land in La Liga and then in La Liga. Compete with idol Messi on the same stage. There is no one in La Masia who doesn't want to make a name for themselves in Serie B. After all, representing Barcelona B team in the game indirectly indicates a chance to play in the Barcelona first team in the future. Fatty's gaze glanced at Lingfeng, who was bouncing the ball not far away. His expression became somewhat solemn. He knows that the most scarce player for Barcelona B team at present is the centre-forward position. Lingfeng, the bronze boot winner of the U17 league last season. Scoring efficiency is not a problem. And the location also fits well. Maybe in tonight's training match, he will compete with this guy from the Dragon Kingdom. Children, come and gather. Fatty, warm up everyone up. Everyone stay energized. Don't procrastinate. Ramasia Youth Training Coach, Eric Garcia. Continuously blowing the whistle, waving to a group of young players. The voice is loud and clear. The players, led by Fatty, began to run neatly around the training ground. Damn it! How did that guy come back? Wasn't it recalled by the Dragon Country youth team? Among the members of the Asian gang, a young general from the cold country suddenly noticed the figure of Lingfeng in the team. Kubo Jianying turned her head to take a look. Then he snorted disdainfully. Not taken to heart. In his opinion, his only competitor tonight is Ansu Fati. Lingfeng. He's not even worthy. Chapter 10. A genius youth accused by the Chinese Football Association. Dragon. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. After a moment. The warm-up is over. All players below U16 will withdraw. Watch the battle on the sidelines. Only players above U16 are left on the field, prepare for group training matches. Off the court. The onlookers exchanged excitedly. Many people recognized Cruyff on the sidelines. The news of this Barcelona legend taking office as the new director of La Masia has also spread throughout the streets and alleys of Barcelona during this period. The director personally attended, and the importance of this game seems self-evident. Shallow, are you doing a live broadcast? Oh my goodness, is this your Longwa live streaming app? It looks like TikTok. In the crowd. Su Qianqian tied her ponytails. Dressed up in a disappearing style. Holding the phone, the camera is directed towards the inside of the stadium. Continuously capturing the figure of Lingfeng. Around me. She just met a few female classmates in the group of Spanish international students. There are several people from Sakura country and cold country. There are also Brazilian and Argentinian girls from South America. All are football enthusiasts without exception. Mad female fan. The girls coincidentally gathered around Su Qianqian's phone. Curiously looking at the screen. It's Douyin, our Longwa social app. TikTok is the international version of Douyin. Su Qianqian responded to the girls' questions at the same time. While changing the title of the live broadcast room. You paid for the cartoon again, which added a wave of traffic to the live broadcast room. Her goal is to live stream the upcoming training competition at the Ramasia Youth Training Camp to the audience of Dragon Country. The protagonist in the live broadcast is naturally Lingfeng. Not long ago, Su Qianqian uploaded the video he filmed outside the Longwa training base that day online. I originally wanted to help Lingfeng resolve the misunderstanding. counterattack the rumor-spreading behavior of the Chinese Football Association. But unexpectedly, the video was directly restricted. In the end, he was even inexplicably banned. It's hard not to doubt that there's a mysterious force behind the scenes. After some contemplation, Su Qianxian also made a decision. She knows that Lingfeng is a capable player. The performance at the Dragon Country training base that day, compared to those Dragon Country players, was simply a high judgment. Even if you return to Spain, in the starry Ramasia. In today's training match, his performance will definitely not be bad. So live stream Lingfeng's performance in the training competition to Longwa netizens. Although it hasn't helped him reverse his reputation yet. But at least it can let those fans of Dragon Country know what they missed, or rather what Dragon Country football missed. What a genius player he is. After a moment. Through paid drainage. Plus the attractive live streaming room title. Dragon Country Genius Player Lingfeng. The entire training match in Ramasia is live. A genius falsely accused by the Football Association. More and more Longwa netizens are entering the live broadcast room. There are also more bullet comments. Ramasia. Is it really the legendary Ramasia youth training camp? Are you in Spain, Anchor? What the hell? Was falsely accused by the Football Association. Even a genius player. I've never heard of it, crouching slot, Lingfeng. Isn't this the naturalized player? The football bully who beat up the national youth team leader. Anchor, are you Lingfeng's dog, right? The national youth team leader and his son have been beaten into pig heads, yet they still say he was falsely accused. I remember, the guy who has been very popular online recently is of Chinese descent. He's not our dragon people. How can such a scumbag still play football in Ramasia? He should be banned from the world. This kid seems to have some strength to play in Ramasia. Ramasia doesn't just want to score, it's the strongest youth academy in the world. What's the use of it? A player with poor character, no matter how skilled they are, is useless. I think there must be some hidden truth behind this. The identity of Ramasia Youth Training Camp represents that he doesn't need to go back to China to make money. Perhaps his original intention is really to bring glory to Dragon Country. Bullshit, the Dragon Country market is so big that even top players want to make money, not to mention a young player from a youth training camp. This Lingfeng probably spent money to enter Ramasia through the back door. He probably doesn't have much real ability, otherwise the Dragon Kingdom would be willing to let him go. The sky is getting dark. The Mediterranean evening breeze brushes over Barcelona. Lingfeng took a deep breath and scanned Ansu Fati, Kubo Jianying, and others across the field. The fighting spirit in my heart is gradually ignited. Just at this moment. The prompt sound of the system suddenly rang in my mind. The regional task is currently being delivered as side quests have been launched. Showing your talents. Task description. Stand out in training matches and qualify to represent Barcelona B team in Real Madrid Castilla. Task rewards. 1 gold chest, 1 silver chest, 1 bronze chest.